episode of Pennies with a Purpose. I'm Willie Mullins.
And I'm Anissa Mullins.
And we are glad that you are here. We are in week 3 of lockdown from the coronavirus, COVID-19. And Anissa, I think we've been doing pretty good.
For the most part, work has kept us really busy. And also we have a household where we don't have children, so we have more of the freedom and liberties to kind of just do what we want to do. So those of you who have children, I'm sure that the struggle is real.
Yeah, I'm sure too. And we're just, even though it's just us, it's still been an adjustment, just getting used to being home and around each other all day. So we wanted to come again and talk to you guys from a financial standpoint. Being shut down for 3 weeks, it also gave me a chance personally, because I kind of do most of our managing of our budget, to go back and just look at some different things, maybe change up some things. So what we wanted to talk to you about today is while you're shut in and while you're in your homes, is a good time to think about a plan, especially if you don't have a plan. So there are things you may want to consider. If you have a plan, you want to make sure you guided towards something. So the first thing we want to talk about is, do you have a plan and creating a plan? So Anissa, when I say, do they have a plan or putting a plan together, what comes to mind for you?
Well, for me, I think of a zero-based budget where you write down everything on paper as far as all of your expenses before you go and spend the actual money in the real world. You get an actual account of your numbers. Like even now during the quarantine, you're making more runs to the grocery store than you would normally have, and that's fine, but you should still have a budget for that. That, okay, for this week, we're doing $50 in groceries or whatever. I'm just giving a number. Not just going to the grocery store and wiping everything out and waiting until you get to the register to go, oh, I just spent $200 today.
Right.
And blow your whole grocery budget for the month. Still be very mindful and intentional about those numbers, even during the crisis.
Okay. And then another thing, even with that, like Anissa said, because with us, we're doing a lot of remote work, so now our gas budget should go down, and we should have more to put toward grocery, or put toward, in our case, put toward debt. The other thing I wanted to talk about when I talk about a plan is, we did a series, a video a while back that said, when you budget, you should have a goal. So not only just saying, I'm going to budget, I'm going to watch my money, but determine what you're working toward. Are you budgeting just to pay off debt? Are you budgeting your money so you can account for how much you want to put in your investment? Are you budgeting just to make sure you pay your bills? And I'll tell you guys, we got a budget or two in, and one of the budgets, and we'll go over it, but one of the budgets is a whole lot of money going out and not the same amount coming in. So things like that, it gives you a chance to sit and look at those kind of things. So we want you to take your time, come up with a plan, come up with a goal, because if you don't have a plan, Anissa, if you're not working towards anything, you just can't get anywhere. You're not even knowing where you're going. If you aim to reach nothing, you'll hit it every time, right?
Yeah, it's an old saying that if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So it doesn't have to be anything, super mathematical with, algebraic equations. Simply how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. And I would say that this is a time that we especially need to be mindful about that, because some of us are not aware of what the future holds for us financially. So if there are areas of our life where we can save our money, especially now, this is the time to do it. And I know everybody has been talking about the stimulus check that we're supposed to be getting.
Yeah.
In the event if we do get that, which I think is around the sum of $1,200, that's your emergency fund right there. A basic starter emergency fund is $1,000. And if it were me, I would not be thinking about the Gucci bags and the, Prada and the whatever I'm going to buy. I'd be thinking about, I am going to set this up as my emergency fund so that I can continue to build on it.
And that could actually be one of your goals. My goal. You could say this. My goal for my budget is to build an emergency fund. Just in case something like this happens again, I am prepared, and it will just become an inconvenience because, I just don't want to reach in it, but the money's there, and at least, even if you got to search for toilet paper, you got enough funds to get it. The other thing you may want to think about, is this something you want to say?
No, I was just going to make mention that even though Willie and I are, we're in the throes of this with everyone, with all of you, we're not using our emergency fund to fund our day-to-day living. Our emergency fund is still set aside for a reserve. We're still using, the amount that we would use as far as our individual paychecks combined to take care of our everyday expenses. We have not touched our emergency fund. So don't use the coronavirus as an excuse to go ahead and wipe out your emergency fund. Because remember, it is supposed to be there as your cushion, as your rainy day umbrella to shield you from the elements. And so if you have cash on hand, use that first.
Yeah, and for so many Americans that don't, because there's so many layoffs happening and they're expecting so many more, if you need to. But again, like last week, I think we mentioned something about understanding and knowing what is your want versus what is your need versus your want. So don't use that emergency fund for something that you just want. So remember, this video is about stressing that goal, stressing what do you want to budget for. It could be, like we said, the emergency fund. It could be to pay off your debt. So that's could be one of the things if you're there, and if you're not there, if you're struggling during this time, it could simply be, I'm going to budget to prepare myself in case something like this happens again.
Right. There is no judgment on anyone, whether you have an emergency fund or don't have an emergency fund, are still employed or unemployed. There is no judgment. This has hit everyone hard. It has caused everyone to change perspective. As for me, one thing that is just loudly resonating is I am not in control.
Wow.
I would have never, ever thought that we would be on a quarantine as a nation. Ever thought that.
Y'all, I have to wake up early in the morning to make sure I get to the grocery store to get paper towels and toilet tissue, of all things.
Yes, and we're being creative with our meals because, you go to the grocery store to buy certain meats and they're not there. So then you have to get real creative. But again, the gratitude of knowing at least I can buy meat. I mean, so what that the meals don't look like what I normally would resemble, they don't resemble what I would normally cook. I'm eating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating. I'm thankful, God, I'm eating. This may not be the crafted meal. This may not go with this, but you know what? I'm providing sustenance for my body, and I'm thankful and I'm grateful. So I think about Jim Rohn, who once said that if you lose everything, that's not the worst that can happen. Losing the information that helped you to get to that place is the worst that can happen. If you lose your job, your car, your home, you still have the information that you got the car and the home the first time to do it again.
Exactly.
It's an inconvenience. It hurts. It's a setback. But you're going to rise out of this better than you were before if you just have the right mindset. This too shall pass. It will pass.
Amen. Amen. So it is our goal, again, is to provide information to help you be diligent and good stewards of your money. And that's just what we love doing, guys. And we just want to spread what we know to you. We want to wish you all guys the best. We're praying for you. And we know that God will deliver us. We will get through this.
Yes, we will.
We will. So we wanted to leave you with that today. As always in leaving, if you want to get us an email, you can email us at pennieswiththepurpose@gmail.com. And our website is pennieswiththepurpose.com. pennieswiththepurpose.com. www.pennieswiththepurpose.com. Manisa, you can tell them about Facebook and
Yeah, and you can visit our Facebook page when this video airs, and please like it and share with friends who may need to hear this, even if it's just an encouraging word to keep going. And then on YouTube, you can please share and subscribe on YouTube so that you'll know when other videos come out as well.
all right, guys, as always in leaving, if you don't tell your money where to go,
You will wonder where it went.
thank you guys and have a great day. We'll see you next week.